everybody. Welcome back to Brainstorm Brewery. I'm Corbin Hostler, and I know how much you missed me last week while I was gone, so I did begrudgingly return. I'm sorry, what was that, Jason?
I said no one missed you.
Oh. Well, your input is appreciated, however, it is wrong. I was missed.
You didn't even listen to the cast, though.
Of course I didn't.
So, it was actually one of our better episodes.
I missed last week. I hated to miss it. I was at the Pro Tour, which was fun. It was great. Good tournament. Seth Manfield won. Shout out to that TCG player, Hype. But no, it was exciting to see Seth win. It was a really cool final. So the coolest moment, because I know no one else here watched it, was at the end. Seth had a combat trick to win the game, and it was a blossoming defense, and he just kept counting. Counted like 4 or 5 different times. It was like 45 seconds after, Pascal Maynard was tapped out, had already made his blocks. There was nothing he could do, but Seth was just so nervous and in the moment. They just kept counting it. And finally, Pascal figured out what was up and knew he was dead and took off his headset and just walked over and gave Seth a hug. And Seth is still just like holding his blossoming defense, trying to figure out that, I really won. It's really Game 5 of the Pro Tour Finals, and I just won. But Pascal gave him a huge hug. It was a really cool moment. It was a really awesome way to end the Pro Tour.
That seems preferable to getting all flustered and making a Hazaret-based punt. Probably,
Yeah, it's also really sad because Yang Wing Chung, which is who that happened to, started the Pro Tour 10-0 this time around, and unfortunately fell off after that. But he was on track there. He was playing the same deck. He was on track for a while to possibly repeat top 8 and maybe get some redemption for it, but unfortunately not. So I had an okay Pro Tour. He finished 11-5. I'm sure at the beginning of the weekend he would have been happy with that, but it's kind of rough to go from 10-0 to 11-5 at the PT, but that's how high the competition is up there. But anyways, we'll get to some more of that later. But this week we have a guest. Steve, welcome to the podcast, man. How you doing?
Good. Very good. Just finally glad to be on.
Yeah, so Steve is one of our patrons who listens and is supporting the cast, and we really appreciate it. And we have him on. And if all goes well, you even have some video of this, so no more little hand drawings this time around.
Yeah, here's hoping.
And if you do a really good job, DJ might acknowledge you next time you see each other locally.
Yeah, actually, we were both playing in that Modern event a couple episodes ago, and we were actually corner from each other and playing the exact same deck.
Douglas Johnson. That's as good a way as any to introduce DJ, the guy who didn't acknowledge our guest in public.
Yeah, no kidding. That's rough, man. That's cold.
I just don't have great short-term memory. Or long-term memory sometimes.
I was going to say that was a couple weeks ago.
Just continue to kill him. I love it.
That's
great.
The best.
We're playing the exact same deck. We're both playing Red Green Ponza, too.
So yeah, for $40 a month, you can be on the podcast, but it's going to take more than that for DJ to acknowledge you.
That seems to be the case, yeah.
What I'm referring to is the fact that if you go to patreon.com/brainstormbrewery, you can contribute to our Patreon. Our guest today has contributed at the $40 level, which means he was able to buy his way onto the podcast and be a guest. If you think that sounds like really cheap for buying your way into a podcast, I agree with you. That's too cheap. But anyway, for as little as $1 a month, which works out to 20 or 25 cents an episode, you can have access to our Discord.
I love how every single week you do the math for them as if they couldn't divide like 100 by 4.
Hey man, maybe they don't know there are sometimes 5 Thursdays in a month. People don't know, man. Sometimes budgeting gets messed up. You want me to mess up their budget? Dude, if $1 a month sounds like a lot for your favorite podcast, maybe you got some budgetary problems. You need to break off a few specs. There's no way that we don't make you $12 a year just like on our advice. So go pick your bulk, get together $12 a year, and contribute to your favorite podcast. So we don't have to shill for like toilet stools and stuff like that, because we'll absolutely do that.
I need to follow up on that, actually, the squatty potty thing.
Do you want to hear a Blue Apron pitch, or do you want to hear a Patreon pitch? Because I think the Patreon pitch is much kinder.
I want to hear the squatty potty pitch.
Are you going to follow up on that, or are you going to just like
you did with B-Dubs 6 years ago where nothing came of it?
What have you done?
So at the $20 level, you can have the handsome drinking glass I'm using right now to drink my beer out of. And there are other levels at other tiers, and you get other prizes, and you can just find that at patreon.com/Brainstorm Brewery. I'm not going to run through it because I don't really know what the stuff is. So
Yeah, he's just gonna softball it in because he has no idea what paying.
Yeah.
what I
actually
do is I
affects.
set DJ up to say it, and DJ's like, duh. Like you, if anyone listened to the cast last week, they know that DJ does not know what to do with a softball. He's like, I'm ice cream man, I can't hit an underhand pitch. So, congrats. So it's all up to me. So give us $1, please, $1 a month. So that's all. You can get better stuff for more money, but yeah. Come on, man, it's $1. So with that $1, we will buy Corbin a better mic because he sounds like he is trapped in a well with a little girl from The Ring. And we will pay our video editor to edit the videos, and then we will buy ourselves a pizza party and have pizza.
That's actually
You're not invited.
We do that at my store as a promotion when we do tournaments. Give people free pizza from our kitchen. It's kind of a sweet deal to get people into the tournament. That way you don't have people leaving the store
To go get food? Yeah.
to go get food, and it's kind of it saves them money, right? It's cheaper than what they would go spend, so it just kind of makes the whole thing easier. It's a nice little promotion, I think, perk or whatever.
Wow.
Set our tournaments apart.
Thank you for interrupting my Patreon page to talk about something you do at your LGS. Cool.
You're welcome.
Cool. So your LGS, you got the pizza. DJ's LGS, he ignores our guest. And at my LGS, I don't know, man. I played a booster draft there one time. So, Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, that's it.
Why are you typing?
Because I was looking up stuff.
Like what?
Sorry, I was trying to catch up. I've been gone all weekend. I don't know what's happened in the world.
We sat down to start podcasting 45 minutes ago, and now Corbin's like, oh shit, I need to do a whole podcast worth of research. Yeah, okay, cool.
I'm done talking to you. Steve, what's been up with you, man?
I'm just going to drink beer now.
Just enjoying life before the holiday season starts, and life goes crazy. So, but other than that, yeah, just.
So what's your deal, man? How are you? How'd you come into Magic and end up on this? And I do question the decisions that have led you here, but how long have you played Magic?
I've been playing Magic for about 8 or 9 years. Met you guys about 5 years ago. I actually met DJ at SUNY Oswego. Actually,
what is that?
It's college. It's college.
Oh, I understand.
You didn't know where DJ went to college? Nice.
I just didn't recognize the name.
Actually sold DJ a bunch of like a place at a Scolding Tarns, Four Blood Moon.
He still didn't remember you.
The more you divulge about your relationship to DJ that he's never acknowledged, just the more pathetic it sounds. Actually. At first I was mad at DJ, and now I'm mad at you. I was like, dude, grow a spine, come on. So this is painful. Yeah, DJ was actually, I wanted him to be the best man at my wedding. Actually gave him half my kidney so he could have some more kidney function.
I don't think he wants mine.
Oh, you got bad organs? Uh-oh.
I'm actually missing an organ.
Oh, is it a kidney?
No.
Oh, well, that's fine then. Well, now I just want to know what organ you're missing.
Can we guess?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's make a game. All right, tell us the color. It's like, tell us the color of the organ.
Is that a thing?
Okay, no, yeah. Instead, like, what is the set? The set would be the region of the body. So is it in like it's in
Jesus.
the upper or lower thorax?
Lower.
Okay, no. And what color
Lower
is it?
thorax.
What color is it?
How does anyone know what color their organs are?
Because it was outside his body. Now he probably got to look at it. You didn't take it
Oh,
home?
that's a good point. Actually, that's true.
No, I didn't get a good look at it. It was took it away for testing.
Yeah, all right.
Well, now
I'm gonna say spleen.
Appendix.
Nope. Well, yes and no.
Is an appendix an organ?
Yes.
What?
Does it do anything?
I actually had 2 organs removed.
You liar.
So your appendix and whatever you were talking about.
Yeah.
Did you have your tonsils out?
No.
Oh. Okay.
He said lower.
Well, I know, but like he's forgetting organs he had removed because he didn't mention it.
So, what was it? Part of your brain?
Corbin, you gotta
The
guess
part
now.
associated. I don't know, man. Was it like your lung?
Just
No.
no. For lots of reasons, no. I ruled out lung. Pancreas.
Nope.
Gallbladder.
Nope.
I'm trying to not guess because I don't know exactly which organs you can live and live without, and so I
Oh.
just don't want to sound like
A foot and a
as big of a-
half of descending colon.
He probably like donated it to DJ, and DJ just doesn't remember.
All right, what is it? You stumped us.
It's the large intestine.
Yeah. I think it's probably.
Not anymore.
me.
Oh well, that's an organ. Now you got a semicolon. That's too
Yeah.
bad.
Pretty much, yeah.
So that's.
Wait, so why did you have it taken out? What happened?
You lost
well,
a bet. What?
What, man? That's a good question.
No, it's not.
It's a great question.
No, I had ulcerative colitis for about 8 or 9 years, and it was starting to show signs of turning cancerous. So,
But everything is good now.
yep.
This is great radio, fellas.
Yeah, it is.
and video.
Yeah, what, man? I've never talked to somebody who had their large intestine removed. It's an interesting
Maybe you
subject.
have. You don't know that.
Yeah, because
Well, I guess that's a. I mean, we know you wouldn't remember, but I would.
what kind of terrible interviewer would think to ask somebody that? Only just the most incompetent of interviewers would it even come to that on a Magic the Gathering podcast. So tell me more about your butt. Like, well, how do we even get there? All right, so
But that's how we always end up there. And then it didn't even take us very long. A couple weeks ago, it took like 4 seconds, and we were talking about squatty potties in people's butts.
well, that's maybe if you had a squatty potty, you'd still have all your colon. Who knows? I'm not a
Maybe.
doctor.
I thought you were going to say maybe if you had a squatty potty, it wouldn't have turned cancerous. That seemed totally in character for you to say. Man.
If you haven't listened to the after hours from last week, give us money and you can listen to it. It was very funny.
It sure was.
I definitely said said some things and some stuff. So
Anyways, let's move on. Let's talk a little Magic. Let's break some bulk.
Breaking bulk time. Breaking bulk time. Break.
oh yeah, breaking bulk. There's so much good stuff.
It's a pick. Breaking bulk. The end.
We'll let the guests go first. Steve, you want to start?
Yeah, I got a white rare from Ixalan.
That is not bulk.
What?
But people think is bulk.
It might not be bulk here shortly.
Is this a pick of the week? Is it Legion's Landing?
No.
Don't give me that tone. You're the one picking white rares from Ixalan, acting like I'm the dum dum.
Chakali Honor Guard.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
a good card.
Yeah, and it actually does have relevance to my pick of the week later.
Which
But-
is Torpor Orb.
No.
Oh.
Save it for later.
Yeah.
Tell us what some people think it's bulk. That's true. I think I probably threw some in my bulk box tonight. What's it actually worth?
It's 32 cents right now, but
Really?
yeah.
I thought that card was still a couple bucks. Damn.
No, it's selling for about a quarter, 32 cents on TCG.
That sounds like
Foils
bulk.
are
How the
to
hell
me.
do you spell this card name?
TOCATLI.
Yeah, that.
Toketli.
It's right in front of me.
Is it a Tekulti? It doesn't have alt in it? Oh,
No.
That's too bad.
See, you're out of luck on changing your Twitter handle to slightly resemble a card name like Brian.
Yep.
Can't be like Tekulti Jason or whatever. Jason Tekulti or something.
And foils are going for about $1.30. Well, buy list. They're going for about $2 regular.
Yeah, that's
Right.
pretty. That's a thing.
So
It's a hate bear.
All right.
I bet.
All
Let's
right.
look at.
Who wants to
Hey,
jump
you know
in?
what? I will look. Before we move on, let's look at the EDH rec numbers on the Honor Guard. 29 decks it's in. Wow, that's a strong showing.
You know, somebody at my store tonight was talking to players about Commander, and he was like, "Have you ever heard of the site EDH Rec?" And I was like, "Oh no." And he was like, "It's actually really helpful." And I was like, "I know the guy who's like in charge of their content." And he was like, "Oh, tell him it's great." And I was like, "No."
Well, you
It
did.
just did,
You
so-
did tell me
No,
that.
I know. I'm so honest, so I had to tell. But
Tell that guy that the guy who's in charge of the content in his official capacity as an agent of that website, tell him he's a nerd.
I'll pass that on.
Do it. Thanks.
You're honest, so you will.
You will. Tell him thank you, but that he's a nerd. Cool. Well,
Wow, that's more than most people get as a thank you from you, so that's pretty good.
drinking.
I remember one of my favorite memories is the very first GP Vegas. We'd only been podcasting at that point for like a year and a half or something, and someone came up and wanted us to sign a playmat, and Jason just stared them down, and was just like, "Why?" It's like, just the worst.
I get real uncomfortable when people say nice things about me. It pisses me off. Don't like it.
You get real uncomfortable when people say anything to you.
Yeah, don't talk to me. Leave me alone. Just take my advice and then just whatever. Give me money. You want to don't say something nice to me. Give me some money. Contribute to our Patreon at patreon.com/Brainstorm Brewery. Just give us $1 a month. That's $12 a year. That's one spike onto Cultly Honor Guard where it goes up and you're like, I have 20 copies. I just made $12, and you're welcome. You guys, I told you that you're not going to guess mine. I thought it was cheating because it's so expensive, but I don't know that you're going to get it.
All right, let's hear it.
That in color, let's go.
It's gonna be some
Green,
old set.
green, future sight, uncommon.
The land one, hunting wilds.
Honey Wilds. No, that's not correct. DJ, you got a guess?
Green, future sight, uncommon.
That's right.
Oh, hunting wilds was a good guess. It's planar chaos, so it's 75 cents.
Yep, that would have been a good one.
Green,
Green future sight uncommon, huh?
Steve, you got one? Got a guess? This is a $2 card that you guys don't know is not bulk.
Well, it's
I-
probably.
If you say it, I'll know it. But
Hold on. Yeah, the thing is, we probably do know it.
Okay, yeah, sure, but
okay, so
I
give me
mean,
a card type thing. Give me a card type.
you'd pick it. Okay, it's a creature, and it's in the new future shifted border.
Utopia Mycon?
No, that's probably not $2, but that's a good guess.
Yeah, it is.
Nope, that card
Yeah,
is
Utopia Mycon's like
$2.
$2.
I've cheated and gone to the set page now. That card is $2.
Utopia
What's it do?
Mycon?
Yeah.
It's
Nice.
the sapperling that makes mana, or the fungus that makes sapperlings that make mana.
Yeah,
So yours has to be this other card that you are right. I did not know was worth money.
and it's not. If you look, it's not because of what you'd think when I tell you what it is. So okay, it's Nakato War Pride. It's a cat warrior, and it's very good. It must be blocked by exactly one creature. And
Yeah,
when
yeah,
it
yeah.
attacks, you put X tokens into play, tapped and attacking, and X is the number of creatures defending player controls. It's very good.
I picked that, but I did think it was 50 cents.
People are thinking, hey, this went up because of the cat deck. It just went up because it's just so good in EDH and token producing decks, and just you get a ton of tokens, and then if you have any token doublers, you have X tokens tapped and attacking.
Well, it definitely went up because of the cat deck.
Yeah, well, maybe.
What do you mean, maybe?
Maybe.
It's a literal cliff.
This was on my radar before, definitely. This was, if you go on Reddit every once in a while, the EDH subreddit, if you can wade through Dirtle in this, sometimes they'll be like, what's your favorite gem that like no one's using, and then they'll say something profound,
I'm
and
gonna
then
read
everyone's
this
like, I'm
now.
on that now. So that's just one of those cards that was sort of on my radar, and yeah, it's a cat, so.
Oh, it
But
is
like,
kind of good, huh?
but yeah, but nothing scales off of cats in the cat deck. It doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, but it went from the 50 cents it cost forever to
Yeah.
$5 the next day. So it definitely
I
spiked
did
because
pick this
of it.
card, but I thought it was
It was
still
a pick
50
before, and
cents.
now it's a super pick. So I got a
Yeah.
whole bunch of these in bulk, and I'm like $2. That's amazing. So
I had no idea it was worth money. Good
you know
pick.
what I thought? I was like, hey, $2 card, is that cheating? But I figured I would see if it stumped you guys.
No, that was really good.
No, that's fine.
Uh,
Like that's one of the situations where being from Future Sight is like allowed.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be
We can't
fair,
just be like picking like, oh, Manamorphose guys from Shadowmoor, like, oh hey, like yeah.
This
we-
is a
Well, yeah.
land, an uncommon land from Future Sight.
yeah.
Did you know it was $14? Yeah, exactly.
so it's really good though because there are, there's the obvious ones for people like Dryad Arbitrary, Wraith Sword of the Meek, Talaria West, Narcomoeba, but I didn't, and Delay I knew about, but I did not know about Mystic Speculation
I knew
or
that one.
Nakata War Pride.
Mystic Speculation is, oh god, it's so good now because you have Paradox Engine just made all the buyback spells stupid. Like obviously Capsize and Whispers of the Muse are nutty, but Mystic Speculation, you just stack your deck. It's dumb.
Yeah, it seems pretty good. Yeah, I think maybe I knew it was a pick, but I certainly didn't know it was $1.50. That's pretty good. Oh, all right, good pick, good pick. All right, I'll jump in here. I'm just kidding. You can go ahead, DJ. We got to get the guests out of the way.
You gotta find yours.
I've got mine's ready to go, buddy. Don't worry about me.
What is it? See, let's hear it. Let's hear. No, you go. You go.
It's a white uncommon from Modern Masters 2015.
Wall of. No.
White uncommon from Modern Masters 2015. What else was it
Wall of
originally
Omens
printed?
2015 or 2017? I want to say Wall of Omens.
It's not Wall of Omens.
What was it originally printed in? Don't be like this.
That's a giveaway.
Oh.
I'm thinking.
This sounds like it has all the hallmarks of not a good pick.
It's a great pick. It's from Scars of Mirrodin block.
Is it?
Oh, Dispatch.
Yeah, it's Dispatch. Yeah, it's like 75 cents to $1, even though it's not really played anymore in Standard or Modern or whatever like it used to be. So
It's still a casual card. And-
Great.
yeah, it's still. I mean, it's still Swords of Plowshares, right? So like, it's still a thing. But there was a while where it felt like, it just you never saw it on buy lists for more than like 15 cents or whatever, even though it used to be a $2 pick. But yeah, it is. It's almost $1 again. So it's been kind of slowly, steadily rising over the past year or so.
You get these in bulk? I sure do.
Yep.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Cool. It's a good pick. Man.
I have two different dimes. The first one is from Future Sight. It's a black creature.
Future Sight Black Creature, huh? Big
Yes.
Game Hunter.
No, that's way more than a dime.
That's
Big Game Hunter is
Also,
dollars.
Big Game Hunter's like
Oh, I
Planar
missed
Chaos.
that unit. Yeah, it is from Planar
Is it-
Chaos.
Oh man. Is it uncommon
you
or
said if-
common?
I feel like giving away the rarity gives it away. Or giving the
Yixlid
rarity gives-
Jailer?
Nope.
That died. That's not probably worth anything
I will
anymore.
say it is a casual card.
It's a black uncommon from Future Sight. Is
I
that
didn't
what
say
you
it was
said?
common or uncommon. I said it's a black creature and it's a casual card from Future Sight.
I see. And it's cheap. It's super cheap.
Yeah, it's a DJ / Ryan pick.
Is
It's
it a
not like
creature?
Yeah.
Is it
Did you say already it was a
Augur
creature?
of Skulls?
it is Augur of Skulls.
Oh!
Ooh.
Nice.
Got
That was a real thing. You'd slap a Cry of Contrition on that and then go to town.
I that was one of the coolest cards when I started playing. I also thought you could sacrifice it and then regenerate it. I was like, it just makes sense. It's why those two abilities are there. It's so good.
You put it on an altar, cut its stomach open, and then just like sew it back up.
Yep.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
sacrifice
so
you
Augur of
again
I mean, that's
tomorrow.
what regeneration means. It regenerated its wounds.
That's
2 mana,
good point.
1/1. It's a skeleton warrior, I think, or skeleton
It-
wizard.
It's a
Skeleton.
wizard.
Okay, skeleton wizard. At your upkeep, you can sack it to make them discard 2 cards. It's like Mind Rot, but it fits better on the curve for the casual players. You should pick these out of your Future Sight bulk because people will give you Future Sight bulk that has all the Teleria Wests and Sword of the Meeks and Narcomoebas and all that crap gone, and then you will still be able to pick these out. So you can get dimes sometimes 15 cents, but I mean, like that's like picking bulk rares out of bulk. So you should pick out your Ugger Skulls, and then my backup.
Okay, every color has got a thing. It's damage doubling, discard, life gain, mill. And a mana ramp. Basically, anything that does any of that stuff, it's always going to be a pick almost.
Yep, that's a good general rule. Yeah. My other card is a Conflux 3-color card, and it's an uncommon.
Conflux 3-color uncommon. There weren't too many of those, were there?
Conflux 3-color uncommon?
Yep.
I mean, there's a bunch of them.
No, not from Conflux.
They're like Woolly Thoktar and Friends are Shards of Alara, and Alara Reborn has an entire multicolor set, but this is 3-color Conflux.
Conflux
card.
didn't have a ton.
It had the Fusion Elemental, but that's 5-color, obviously.
5-color.
And I think thinking of a lot of Alara Reborn cards.
Yeah,
exactly.
me too.
That's why.
It's messing me up.
That's why you'll go through a huge pile of Alara bulk and then skip over this dime.
Man, I can't think of a single Conflux card. I literally can't.
I mean, that set is hard to...
I can think of like I can think of like Rock's Meditant and like 2-color stuff. I can't think of
Okay, I'll tell you, it's Naya.
Is it not Vine Mystic?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, nice.
Ah, that's a Conflux card. Good one. Look at that. Nice work.
Not Vine Mystic is a... I don't even know what's power and toughness. I think it's a 2/2 or 2/3.
I think it's a 2/3 maybe.
Man, if only we had the internet, we could look up Not Vine Mystic.
I'm looking at it right now. It's a
Nerd.
2/2.
Okay, 2/2 for 3 mana. You pay 1 and you make 1 of each color of mana that is Naya. So, janky casual Mail decks, janky casual Marath decks, etc., etc.
Yeah, it's like a worse Selvala.
Yeah, it's a budget version of a bunch of other cards, but like that still doesn't mean that it's not worth money because people who want to cast Mail and activate her and not spend like $1 billion on all the different insane mana ramp effects can play Not Vine Mystic, and that's a lot of the cards that I pick out of bulk because people are going to take the Ancient Ziggurats and people are going to take all of the other expensive cards out of bulk, like the Terminates and the Lightnings and all that will be gone, but like people will leave Not Vine Mystics in there all day. And sites like Card Kingdom will give, and like TCG Player Buy List will give you like between 10 and 15 cents a piece.
Which is fine, dude. I will buy list nickels if it means I can wedge more cards into a flat rate box.
Yep.
So you definitely pick dimes if I could see my way clear to picking nickels. So yeah, this is solid. And this is like, man, Card Kingdom's got this for 70 cents retail. This is a real card. Cool. That was a good pick.
I'm good at this.
Sometimes.
You know what? Just take the comp. Oh. I don't regret giving you the compliment. I regret giving you the job writing for Brainstorm Brewery.
I would regret starting it all.
Yeah, I'm responsible for this.
Yep.
All right then. All right, how about some emails, DJ?
I got your email right here.
Do you?
That should be the name of the segment.
I got your email right here.
Yeah.
I got your mailbag hanging.
So, speaking of this is a good anecdote. If people have ever doubted that Brian Braunduin is probably the funniest Magic writer there is out there, we had to kill this headline a few weeks ago that he sent us, but he did a mailbag article for a TCG player, and the title he sent us was the BBD bag, and it was so good. And I was so sad that we couldn't publish it.
Why not?
Because we have
because you're
professional
cowards.
standards. Yeah. We could not publish it, but it was hilarious. Fortunately, on this podcast, we have no standards. So
now we have Corbin instead of standards.
Yeah, that's right. I got standard for you. You guys will pay attention to standard.
All right.
All right, read an email.
Let's do it.
Cody Alamos. It's called Shout Out to the Good Work. Hey, asshats. Thanks for the read of my previous email. There's an E at the end of previous.
Maybe
I've
he's an old-timey typesetter.
I have continued to listen to the podcast, which was 2 words, podcast, and have since moved up on the Patreon.
TJ.
Wanted to give you guys a shout out. Keep up the kick-ass job. I love listening each week. Thanks again, Cody.
What? You read that just so you knew we would shit on him, and then he's like, I gave you more money. Jesus, DJ.
Yep.
Don't do that to us.
Well,
We
thank
need
you
every
for the nice-
patron we can get. Ever since I stopped being Guy Fieri, everyone's like, I'm bored.
Well,
Just
thank you for the nice email.
Give us
Appreciate that.
be like Cody. Give us $1 at least. All right. Thanks, Cody.
All right, what's
spell
next?
also, you stupid idiot.
This one's titled DJ keeps insisting we do this from Christopher. Hey Brew Crew. I throw money at you every month and never take advantage of it. I don't think I've ever even looked at a spreadsheet. I guess I should at least send an email when DJ keeps begging like a stray dog all over Twitter and the Discord.
Ooh.
Anyway, I want beta basics for my legacy modern standard decks, and I'm not sure the best way to get a hold of them. Is this the kind of thing that you should pick up at a GP? On a side note, I'm going to my first GP in a few weeks, and I would love some tips on how to buy cards there. Are there certain cards that will be cheaper at a GP than online? Thanks, I guess. Sent from my SNES Classic.
All depends on the format, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's usually, like, depending on the vendor, there's usually, like, they'll usually bring random crap that they can't get rid of in their shop. So, like, if you just do some browsing, like, you'll find certain vendors that have, like, one display case. It's like, here's all the foreign crap we can't get rid of, or here's all, like, the non-English foils, or,
Yeah,
like,
that's
here's all these, like, fancy basic lands. Like, that
Yeah,
we just,
beta lands are probably something you can get a good deal on at a GP, to be
Yeah.
honest.
especially
Yeah.
if you buy in bulk, like, if they just have
Yeah.
them for, like, $4 a piece
Yeah.
or $5 a piece or whatever, you're like, hey, if I pick up all these on, like, Sunday night, if they're all still there, you're like, hey, I'll give you this much for all of them. And
Yeah,
then-
so the reason DJ says Sunday night, not to put words in his mouth, but sometimes they run out of money or they get low on money, and if they want to keep buying, maybe Saturday night is actually the time to do it.
I mean,
Well,
to be
it's also
honest,
like
that doesn't.
vendors just don't want to take shit back home with them.
That's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
they would.
I mean, to be honest, dealers don't really run out of money that often anymore because
Well,
we're past the boom of events being 5,000 people where they're just slammed. There's been a lot more
it
slow.
depends on the
weekends for
size of the
vendors
vendor.
than-
Like Channel Fireball's not going to run out of money on Saturday night.
Yeah. I mean, but yeah,
Tim's
there's just
A to
not
Z
been.
Comics that's local. If they brought
Yeah.
their beta basics, because that's pimp to them. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, you certainly can try it.
But definitely
it's just
Sunday
like-
night is they're like,
Right.
we don't want to put this shit on the airplane prices for sure.
Yeah, that's an interesting subject. Is maybe one we'll talk about at some point in the future if anyone wants to hear it. Is to talk about the vendors at GPs and the bubble it may or may not be, because we're no longer at the every vendor slammed all weekend thing outside of like Vegas. Your typical GP is we're past the days of 4,000 person tournaments where the hall is just completely filled and slammed. Now there's a bunch of vendors and not as many people, and it's not bad. In terms of like, it's not like the events are doing necessarily poorly, but we're just not in that crazy explosion either.
Well, yeah, we're also in the time of vendors learning what the optimal price point is for an event. Like the price point nowadays is actually like almost double what it was 2 or 3
Right.
years ago. So like that correlates, and like we'll have half as many people if the event costs twice as much. But like the vendors are still making around the same amount of money, but we're still in the time period of them trying to optimize and figure out what the optimal price point is, because like they've been continuing to ramp up the price point over the past couple of years, being like, okay, well, will you pay 70 for a GP? Will you pay 80? Will you pay 90? And like once that starts to decline, they'll be like, okay, this is where we need to stay.
Right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not like GPs are doing poorly. It's just, that I don't see very many dealers slammed anymore. So I think, but if you go in on a Sunday afternoon and you just are offering cash, they're going to definitely want to sell you beta basics.
Oh,
Because they don't move very often. I've had a bunch at my store for a long time and no one buys them.
also
Yep.
try to get a trade-in bonus too. Putting like,
Yeah.
if they're not going to come down on the price, they'll come up on the price of your trade-in stuff. So
Yeah, give them hot standard cards or hot whatever they want to buy, and
Yeah.
it's a good deal.
some on their hot list, and then you get another 20% on top of that. You're getting those beta basics for virtually $2.
Yeah, just don't be afraid to haggle on them.
Yeah, because
That's the thing.
it's not a corporation. It's not like I'm not authorized to. Yeah, I love haggling. I'm a pain in the ass when I buy cards. So when I sell to dealers, I'm always like, give me another 50 cents on that, and it's annoying. But it's super annoying when they like have a price in the case and it's marked, and I'm still like, give me money off. But whatever. You know, just if you want to be a total piece of garbage like me, you can save a lot of money doing that. So you never know. Ask them to round down. If it's $61, be like, how about 60? Just do stuff like that. It works. So good luck, man. Beta basics. They're not quite unglued, but that's the thing. So good luck, man.
Beta plans are sweet. My favorite. We had a great story at the Pro Tour last weekend where I'm walking by.
Oh God, you're always name dropping the Pro Tour.
What?
This reminds me of that time I was on the Pro Tour. Oh.
Okay, I'm just gonna ignore that one.
No, tell the story, Corbin, please.
It was a great story. So I walked by two players, and it's just like random people. And they're shuffling, presenting their decks for game 2. And I hear Judge, right? They're calling for a Judge. So I kind of like look over my shoulder, see what's going on. And they go, Judge, we've both presented our decks. We're playing the same deck. We're playing the same sleeves. And we're both playing beta basics. Now we don't know whose deck is whose. So that was pretty funny. Like, that's not something that happens very often, I think. Or ever.
I'm so mad. That's actually a good story.
I know. I know you'd be all ready to shit on it, but it's a good story.
I mean, can I just shit on you and then say the story was good?
I mean, sure, that's acceptable.
Thanks for the story. You suck.
You're welcome.
How did they resolve? What does a judge do? Be like, kind of tell me.
So the judge takes it, and one of the guys is like, so my beta basics are darker than his, and the judge looks at one deck, picks up the other deck, looks at it, picks up the first deck, looks at it again, looks at me, and I just kind of shrug. I can't tell either, man. So the head judge gets involved. I'm sure two people got DQ'd last weekend, so I'm sure dealing with something like this was a welcome relief for the head judge. But what they ended up doing was the players wrote down what cards they sideboarded in because it was game 2, and the judge looked through their decks and determined whose was who based on what sideboard cards were in the deck.
That's adorable.
That was smart. I didn't think about it. I mean, not that I was trying actively to problem solve it. I was just watching. But that was the intelligent way to figure it out.
Man, that time extension must have been long, though. Ooh.
Yeah. It was like, I don't know, there were worse. I mean, there were several DQs, so those investigations obviously push around pretty long. I don't know. Long days have nothing on the 10 rounds on Sunday that are coming next year to GPs.
What?
Have we talked about GP changes here before?
Can we not?
I don't remember if we did or not.
Let's say we did. Okay, those were good talks. We got a big email queue, so can we just?
Wow, the guest is telling Corbin what's up.
Yeah,
he's not even having an email queued up. That's the saddest part.
He does.
I do. $100 patron with questions regarding protecting a collection.
This is a $100 patron, which probably means $100, lifetime.
I appreciate the $100 lifetime. Go ahead, DJ.
From Rob. Hey, Flavortown crew. After being a poor for the longest of time, I have finally put my patron buoy into the flavorful harbor of your podcast. Can I get some advice on tips and tricks for keeping a small Settlers collection on TCG Player and eBay in a great condition so I can sell cards very easily at near mint? Too often I find that old specs and foils have tended to curl or get damaged when I put it into boxes, and I don't want to have a million binders between standard, modern, and EDH cards. What are some of the ways that you guys keep cards in the best condition possible prior to selling them? Thanks, Rob. Set for my Nokia 3300.
I don't do this.
DJ, go.
Okay. First of all, sleeve pretty much everything. If it's worth like $2 or $3 or more, just like penny sleeve it. Invest like $20 or $30 into a box of penny sleeves.
Also, you will get penny sleeves when you buy collections, so just use them.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just prefer to use new penny sleeves. Yeah, I just prefer to use new penny sleeves and make sure they're all.
I can just show this on video, can't I? I have a million different sleeves on my desk. Woo!
Yeah. I mean, I can show actually what my TCG Player inventory looks
Woo!
like.
Making it rain sleeves.
So
They just fell out of the box.
So this is sort of what my TCG player, part of my TCG player inventory looks like. It's all set, sorted, and alphabetized, and everything is penny sleeved. My audio might be a little off there, but whatever.
That was so weird that we just like had a moment where we're like living in the future.
Oh yeah, we're on video. Oh yeah.
By the future, I mean the 21st century. Yeah.
So sleeve everything. I don't really, again, I like you said, I don't really recommend using binders just because cards can get damaged a little more easily in there. Like you're moving cards around a lot more. Like stuff can get dinged when you fold pages. Binders could have like acidic stuff in the plastic. But use like either a 5-row or like a couple 1-rows if your inventory is small enough. Sleeve everything, and then like you don't have to alphabetize it if you're not going to be going through it a whole ton, but like just set sorting everything is the easiest way to do it. And then the other advantage of sleeving everything is that you get to write condition on the sleeves with a Sharpie. So when I buy a collection, I'll like sort it out by condition, sleeve everything, then grade it with a Sharpie. So like all the near mint cards don't get written on, but all the LPs get LP, MPF for MP foil, that kind of thing. And then they all just get like set sorted.
Well, keep in mind, he said he's had problems with them warping or getting damaged. So, what about the warping issue specifically? Do you have any advice?
I mean, if you live in like a super tropical area, like maybe this person lives in like some sort of tropical area or like someplace where foiling, like on an island or something where water gets into the cards more. In that case, if you have a lot of foils and you're trying to sell them in your mint, I would recommend investing in silica packets, like the little beads that you buy, like that you get when you buy things on Amazon or whatever, that keep moisture out. I actually bought, again, we're on video, so I can do this. These are MPS Ravnica basics that I bought on Ravnica. So these are like all the Ravnica foil MPS basics.
Do you have some silica gel for your Ravnica basics?
And when I got them from Haruru, they were all like tacoed and they were all like folded kind of poorly or like warped a little bit. So I just like put them in a Tupperware container with a whole bunch of silica packets. And
any desiccant will work. A 50-pound bag of Morton System Saver will just be your desiccant.
I mean, they've mostly uncurled. I plan on using these for my cube, and so like I don't want my basics to all be curled and my cube not be curled. So like when I got these, they were way worse than they are right now. But they've been in there for a few weeks, and they're pretty much they're definitely sleeve playable if I brought them to a tournament. So yeah, use Decadent or Decadent or whatever the heck you pronounce it as.
He doesn't even know. It's Decadent.
Either of those two.
That was the best good advice that we're going to make fun of you for because words are hard.
I decatated all my Ravnica lands. And
decadent is a word that means like fancy, right? Like
yeah.
Exquisite.
I knew one of them meant one thing. I knew what
oh boy.
I knew one word meant one thing and the other meant the other thing.
That's a SUNY Oswego education right there. Boom, I nailed both of you.
Good email. What's the next one?
I just want to make sure this one we haven't read yet.
You could always delete it after.
That's true. Okay, so follow-up question from episode 261 from Brian. Hey, DJ and Brew Crew. I wanted to say thanks for answering my question on the cast. I liked your answers and discussion, and I think Jason hit a lot of it on the head. I've always thought his spec strategy with EDH is the most successful and results proven. I think any follow-up question is going to delve off topic into reprint risk and standard set supply, which is a whole different can of worms. Thanks again. Love the cast.
That's not a
question.
An email.
You didn't need to... Man, don't read emails with people filleting us. It makes me feel really uncomfortable.
God, just say thank you and move on. Take the compliment, remember?
Hey, Jason, you're really smart with you. Yeah. Thanks for answering my question. I'm a nerd. Jesus. That's so painful to me. Why do you do that?
What's wrong with you?
I enjoyed none of that. Brian,
Good.
thanks for writing in initially. Fuck you for writing in a second time. Did not like it. 0 stars. All right.
All right, I'm gonna read another second email then.
I give it a 5 out of 7. Perfect score.
Oh, look, a Facebook meme.
This one's from Nate. Hey guys, I decided to give you some of my cash because I've been having fun listening to you, and I've gotten a few cards for EDH based on your recommendations, and while they haven't all been hits, they're at least fun cards that I had no idea about. I've only been playing for a bit over a year, so my knowledge of old jank is minimal. Thankfully, I don't have to spend my time researching, and I can leave it to you navel-gazing nerds hiding in a basement fingering old cardboard.
Ah! That's the kind of email I like.
Yeah, now you're on Jason's level here.
I went with $10 a month because I got tired of trying to write down card names while listening to the podcast, and I'm willing to trade years of time and knowledge from you for less than I'll spend paying somebody else to make my lunch today. Isn't capitalism grand?
Oh, we appreciate that. That's a better pitch than Jason's ever made.
So, in his scenario, we're the pores. Oh.
The tables have turned.
Thanks for the laughs and the magic knowledge. If you have any tips on how to acquire and store magic bulk in an apartment in Chicago with 2 kids and a wife, let me know. Just kidding. I'll live vicariously through you guys. Peace, Nate.
Yeah, don't...
have 2 kids.
Well, says the guy with a kid trying to have another.
She's trying to have a kid. I'm not trying to have a kid. Just trying to live my life.
Anything else, DJ?
Yeah, we got one.
Give us another.
Hit us with that.
This one's from Matt Morgan.
Oh, and he's... For those of you who don't know, Matt Morgan used to work for EDH Rec until he wrote us an email that got him fired. So he doesn't work for EDH Rec anymore. He keeps writing articles and getting paid, but I swear he's fired. So, Matt, if you're listening to this, hey man, quit sending in articles and getting paid. I fired you. All right.
BSB folks, I wanted to shoot you an email again to get you to talk about shop crawling. Jason has teased several times about he could talk about it all day, and GJ's expertise in shop crawl down to Thomas Dodd's shop I'm sure would have some good stories. Let's hear it. What are some tips that you have for going to shops and finding their mispriced items? How do you go about snapping up larger amounts of cards without tipping them off that they made a mistake? If a store uses website pricing for their singles, what are some good suggestions to still get a good deal? Or has the internet and easy information made finding gems a thing of the past? I expect at least an hour of discussion on this for my $10, $20 a month. Something great podcast or whatever. Thanks, guys.
I like that.
He didn't even say what he sent it from. That's a meme. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
All right. We can't.
Oh, no, wait, no. I had to expand the email, but he has it as like a signature sent from a desktop computer because I'm not a peasant.
Ooh. See?
I like that one. That's a pretty good one.
Okay. We don't have an hour to talk about shop crawling, but what I will say is the best advice I can give to someone that's going to go shop crawl is call ahead. Ryan and I did a pretty epic shop crawl over like 4 days. We left on like a Monday to do GP Minneapolis. So from Michigan, we left on a Monday. We took Aaron the Godslayer with us. We split up the driving, except Ryan because he can't drive. We called ahead, so we made like the places that are like we used SCG pricing. We're like, cool, we probably won't hit you up. The places that are like, do you have any bulk Magic cards? Like we inquired about buying their bulk, and one of the places like, we will buy your bulk. We pay $6 for 1,000 or something like that. So we ended up finding a shop along the way and selling bulk to them. But we just
just flipping bulk on the way. I like it.
Just calling, just asking a few leading questions and seeing what their deal is. Like, we have 5 people for F&M, or we are a used record shop that has a binder full of Magic the Gathering cards. I don't know why we're showing up in WPN. So what we would do is we just hit up WPN or whatever and like got a list of all the stores along our route, just called them all up, and some of them we always ended up at an F&M. Every night that we stopped, we ended up at like a store that was doing a thing that had people in the shop playing Magic. So it was like there was a Tuesday night that they were just like all playing casual, that we ended up at an F&M before the GP. Like we planned our route. So just the pre-planning's the best part, because when you try to go by the seat of your pants, like, we'll just drive and look on WPN. Ryan and I shop crawled to Vegas. We picked up Corbin, which was a mistake, because then we had to have Corbin in our car. And then we're like, let's hit every shop between Oklahoma and Vegas. It was like,
we took my car.
Drive for a day, hit a shop. Your shop crawl day is over. Like, we hit maybe
We were also
shops.
in the desert.
Yeah,
we were in the desert. There wasn't much to be done.
Actually, there was a store that was closing.
Yeah.
And we're just like, he's like, my dreams are dead. We're like, cool, sell us all your shit for cheap. I still have that guy's like dice in my car from just the death of it. He's like, you guys want to buy a bunch of computers because no one comes here to play League of Legends either. And we're like, your life sucks. Anyway, he had a bunch of cool Mall Ninja shit. I almost bought a bunch of daggers and stuff. Just
Didn't
to be like, I got
drive
this
us home
cheap.
from that event? I think I did.
Yeah, you probably did.
I one-shotted Vegas to Oklahoma City, and then Aaron took you guys the rest of the way.
I drove a lot, sir. I think you'll find. And also, you bought a bag of M&Ms. And I was like, who gets just a bag of plain M&Ms at a rest stop? You're like, me, I love M&Ms. And then you melted them in my car. There's still melted M&M chocolate in my car.
We were in my car.
I'm telling you, dude, there are M&Ms in my car.
We took my car.
Then they must have been in my cooler and ended up in my cup
So
holder.
you stole my M&Ms that I
Good.
bought in my car.
Good. I just want to let you know that you got your Montezuma's revenge, but there's still melted chocolate in my vehicle. That's good. It's the Kelly Blue Book guy took a look. He's like, is that melted chocolate? And he just like wrote something down that I didn't see. So thanks for devaluing my car.
Right, man. You're right. That was me.
It melts in your cup holder, not in your hand. So thanks for that.
I bought a bag of M&Ms at the Pro Tour, and then the wrapper got left behind at the table, and people were like, "Whose trash is this?" And they were like, "Oh, it's Corbin's."
Yeah, because you're the only.
Yeah. Guess so.
Could you be more of a basic bitch? If you bought Hershey's Kisses, I think that's more basic, but that's like the only thing. Who buys just plain M&Ms and eats them like that's candy? Who does that?
You have. I'm not even gonna go there. I'm gonna be nicer to that. I have a great
I don't
comeback
understand.
to be nice. I'm gonna be nice.
All right, so that sums up Corbin as a person to me. Like, tell me one thing about Corbin. He buys
M&Ms.
and consumes plain M&Ms, and everyone's like, I don't know exactly what's wrong with that, but something's vaguely unsettling. I'm like, right? I can't really articulate what's wrong with that, but it's just like, he buys plain M&Ms, and they're like, I know everything I need to know. So, it was a good shop crawl. We spent more time talking about M&Ms than shop crawling, but you get the gist of it. Call ahead. We picked a lot of stores like, we got a bar, everything's 5 cents. We hit some stores like that. We hit up a store in a mall called James's Games or Games by James or some shit like that, and we still went in. And they're like, packs are BOGO. So like, just go places. Do it. Leave a couple days early for a GP. Make a shop crawl out of it. Stay at a cheap hotel. Have some stories to tell your grandkids. Oh, it's Matt. He's never going to reproduce. Never mind.
All right, I got one more email. If you guys think we can power through it. Steve, you haven't gotten a chance to talk in a while, but I promise this will be worth it.
Okay.
This is from Wes, and it's titled "New Patreon Goal?" ? Now that you guys have surpassed 1K monthly, could there be a new goal set to fix Corbin's garbage audio quality? 261 episodes, and the guy still sounds like he does the show through a styrofoam cup attached to a string.
So,
I don't understand.
I'm going to throw Marcel under the bus. He's like, hey, I still have all the Brainstorm Brewery PayPal information. What if I just bought audio equipment without asking you guys and then sent it to Jason? So I just got all this audio equipment sent to me. I was like, we don't need this, though. We're recording on OBS. And he's like, all right, send the mic to Corbin. So I do have a professional-looking podcasting mic I can send to Corbin.
I'm sure it will be just like the mic I already have.
No, look at this thing. It's nice. Look, okay, so this is.
It
comes in like a leather zippy pouch.
I don't see your video, so
it's phallic. So
everyone gets to see this but me.
Oh, there's silica gel inside.
You have to turn on your video and it's not gonna work.
It's for the people. It's not for you. So there's some
I'm
silica
gonna have
gel
to go
in there.
watch to
So
see
Corbin's
this.
getting free silica gel, and he's getting a phallic-looking mic that he'll have next to his mouth, which makes me laugh because he won't.
You better send me a Brainstorm Brewery glass with it.
Oh, I still haven't sent Corbin Brainstorm Brewery glasses because he's not subscribed to our Patreon at patreon.com/brainstormbrewery at the $20 a month level to get the glasses sent to him. Also, if you think you're entitled to a glass but you haven't gotten it, send me an email. I will fix that. Because there are people like, you send me glasses every month. I've got 12 glasses. I don't need any more. And then there's some people like, you never sent it to me. So we are disorganized. So You could actually bet on us screwing up and sending you way too many glasses. So you get way more than you're supposed to on our Patreon because we are. I won't say lazy, but we are. We could develop a system easily and haven't. So I'm just saying.
It's a lot of we in there for the guy in charge of sending out the glasses.
Steve, did you get your glasses?
Yes.
Okay, good. How many did you get?
I got 2.
Haha, you only got 2.
I want one. I just want one.
I'm sending a bunch out like this week. So I emailed a bunch of people like 4 days ago. I was like, I'm sending them out today because I'm a liar. I will send them out this week.
Yep, that makes perfect sense.
They're right there. They're in that box. So there we go.
All right, moving on. Let's head into pick of the week. So just a brief recap. The Pro Tour, people were a little...
I thought we were going to get...
People were really worried because energy decks were almost 50% of the meta. But it turns out that 4 of them top-8'd, but they were all different. Or there were maybe 2 Teamer, 1 4-color, and 1 Sultai. And the Sultai deck ended up winning. But it looks very different than the Teamer energy decks. It was really more of a black-green Constrictor deck that also played Long Tusk Cub and Attune with Ether. But so nothing really crazy. There was, I think we've seen Vraska spike as a result. Hostage Shaker is probably just going to stay good because that card's still good. God Pharaoh's Gift is really successful. It made the finals, which tells me less about God Pharaoh's Gift and more about a Braid, which is the reason those decks had success, because all the Teamer players were cutting a Braid in order to try to go over the top of the mirror. So I think that is the deck. If you're looking to take advantage of a meta where people aren't, packing a bunch of a Braid or whatever, definitely look at the God Pharaoh's Gift deck that Pascal Maynard made the finals with. It was very, very good. Champion of Wits, I think, if anything, is a pickup out of there, given that it came from Hour of Devastation. And it's only about $3 right now.
I just like when people do EDHE stuff in Standard, and dicking around with God Pharaoh's Gift, it's my kind of magic. I like it.
Yeah, honestly, this metagame is... It's I don't want to say it's great, because there's a lot of energy decks. Energy's, generally the best deck, but it's so close.
Every time they have purple mana, whether it's affinity or it's energy or whatever, anytime they have the mysterious 6th color, the true colorless.
Yeah.
Anytime they have a 6th color, it's dumb, and they're like, oh, we made a huge mistake. They screwed up with affinity twice, so what are you gonna do?
Yeah, well, they messed up with energy, I agree. The thing is, though, it's not oppressive. It's not that good. It's just sort of the generic best deck because it has the best matchups against everything. But you can build your deck to beat it. You can do
anything. Sometimes you're the weird tokens deck with Whirler Virtuoso. Sometimes you suit up a Bristling Hydra and attack them for 8 million on a creature. It does all the different things well, and that's what pros are attracted to, is a deck that has a lot of
it's nothing but energy, but it's like, yeah, they're using Kaladesh cards. No one bitch like, oh, it's all Innistrad block stuff.
Well, yeah, the thing about it is that it's not even necessarily that it just has the smoothest things because it doesn't have the bad matchups. Control decks destroy Teamer, but they can't beat Robin Red. Whereas, in order to hedge and possibly be able to beat Red, maybe, they make themselves worse against Teamer. Whereas Teamer can do that, and they can beat the tokens deck sometimes, and they can sometimes beat Control, etc. You just don't have these lopsided matchups, and that's what draws people to it, especially at an event like the PT. But you saw people who said, we have a deck that's really good against Teamer and really good against Red, but we can't beat Control or tokens. But you know what? We think that's going to be the metagame of the Pro Tour, so that's what we brought. And you saw people do extremely well with the mono white vampires deck because of that, where they just crushed the red decks and the energy decks. And Wilson Hunter, I believe, was the person who did best with it. It was either top 16 or top 25. But that mono white vampires deck is real. It's a No Catcher's Monument deck as well. It was very, very strong. Maverick Fane, pretty good in that deck. So there's a lot going on. And the standard format has a lot of very different decks, right? God Pharaoh's Gift looks very different than white-blue approach, looks very different than a red deck, looks very different than your Jund, right, which is essentially energy, the mid-range deck. So there's a lot going for the standard format once you get past the fact that, Teamer is just reliably the best deck, but it's not oppressive. All right. Also, there were no bans. That was the thing that kind of came and went unnoticed. But nothing got banned or unbanned.
Nobody expected anything, I don't think.
Yeah, they did kind of allude to maybe something will happen for the Pro Tour and Modern, which again is a timing thing, not a.
I don't know,
this in
advance. People are buying their Stoneforges, people are buying their Bloodbraid Elves, and they're buying their Jaces, just like always.
Yeah, I mean, that's all fine. I'm just pointing out that if something happens in Modern, it's not because they want the Pro Tour to look good. It's just because they're, if you're going to unban something, you may as well unban it right before the Pro Tour rather than, 6 months beforehand.
Here's one.
Or 3 months.
Punishing Fire.
No.
No.
Okay. That was GT.
No.
Nope. Jason, when was the last time you played a match of Constructed Modern?
Modern?
Yeah.
I played some Frontier. No, man. Punishing Fire would be fine.
It would not be fine.
No.
It would be totally fair.
It would not be fair.
You'd still struggle against the Bitter Blossom decks.
That's not a thing that exists.
I just want Punishing Fire back. I just love that in Legacy. I just want it. Can I just have a thing? Can I just have a nice thing?
It's stupid.
Okay, give me Bloodbraid Elf, and I promise that what I'm going to do is play a Boom Bust. I promise all I'm going to do is hit Boom.
Bloodbraid Elf could get unbanned.
Just play Restore Balance, Jason.
I mean, that sounds like fun.
That's the dangerous thing, though. Bloodbraid Elf is probably the one most likely to get unbanned.
No, Stoneforge.
Honestly,
Stoneforge dies to 90% of the removal.
What about unbanned Stoneforge, ban Batterskull?
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be tight.
Even then, like
people be going
their cards like a
Divider's
braid.
Wand and shit.
Well, people can't play a braid in Modern.
I've played a braid in Ponza.
The thing is, you're right. Like, it does. It's not that there aren't cards to kill it. It's that it still just is absurd. Like,
it's very absurd.
It's that, like, if you don't
it's
have...
It's not absurd.
It turns out a turn 3 Bane Slayer is really good in Modern. Who knew?
Yeah, it's just...
It's iffy.
I don't think that decks that make up the best Legacy decks should be legal in Modern. I think that's a good line.
Just give us Punishing Fire.
Pick of the week, pick of the week, pick of the week. Time for the pick of the week.
All right,
they'll do that Twilight Zone crap where they
pick of the week. Steve, you said yours coincided with it. So, what's your pick of the week here?
It was going to be Stoneforge Mystic.
Well, it doesn't mean it's a bad pick. It just means that we disagree with you on how strong it is.
No, that's exactly what that means. Right?
No. I mean, because for one, it doesn't have to get unbanned for it to be a good pick. Two, it's not a guarantee that we're right and he's wrong. I thought that
Now you can make money on Stoneforge Mystic every year around the ban cycle because it goes down when it doesn't get unbanned.
True anymore because of how many GP promos there are.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both the regular and the GP promo are about $15. So.
Right, I'm just saying, like, the graph for Stoneforge over the past 3 or 4 years has always been like a roller coaster, and we've missed out on that roller coaster last year because of how many promos flooded the market. So, like, I still think you obviously make money if it gets unbanned, but I don't think it's a free money regardless if it gets unbanned. But if you are the kind of person who would play Stoneforge, like, if you're the kind of person who wants to play Stoneforge in Modern, I think you hedge your bet, sure. If you just happen to not have your copies, you just, like, drop $50 and try to find a cheap set. But I don't think it's a guaranteed free money buy now, sell later, even if they don't get unbanned.
I think when they don't get unbanned, people are looking to dump them and you pay less than retail. And then around the time of a potential unbanning, you can get a lot of money on TCG players. So if that's
Steve, is your contention
that you're doing, that's a thing.
Steve, you believe it's actually likely to get unbanned, or what?
I think it's most likely because
more than Bloodbraid.
Take a look at. I mean, I could see it's a toss-up between Bloodbraid and Stoneforge, because Stoneforge dies to pretty much all the removal in Modern.
It's true.
It gets stopped by effects like Topo Orbit. It doesn't have the protection like it does in Legacy. Legacy, you got in Death and Taxes, you got Mother of Runes, to protect Stoneforge when it comes into play.
Right, that's all true.
Bloodbraid has potential to be broken in Modern, because you play Bloodbraid, let's hit this,
Boom bust.
Boom bust, or restore balance, or living end.
Or a creature for free.
I mean, to be fair, those decks already exist, right? Does giving them a more expensive enabler do anything?
Depends on the deck.
Like, you can already boom bust like that if you want. Right? Like, those decks, you can already restore balance. I don't think that, and I could be wrong, right? I mean, I don't think that blood braiding into those things is any worse than violent outbursting into those things. I think the bigger issue is that violent outburst and demonic dread and ardent plea are just kind of bad cards on their own, obviously, whereas bloodbraid is not. So bloodbraid into like ancestral vision and just a kind of a good stuff teamer deck sounds a lot more scary to me than any of those combo cards we just named.
Or just playing like bloodbraid into Kolaghan's Command.
I
mean, that's very good.
Or
But like Jund is a bad deck, so like Jund's not good right now, and Jund hasn't been good in a long time. When Jund was a reasonable deck, I'm all about the to keep Bloodbraid banned thing, but it's just not even a good deck right now. They're all Death Shadows deck, and they already decided that Grixis Death Shadow is better. So like, I mean, Teamer Death Shadow will come back, or Jund Death Shadow, and they'll play Bloodbraid.
Did you say Bloodbraid?
Bloodbraid. It's too late, man. I've been up a long time. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's more likely than Stoneforge, because Stoneforge invalidates entire archetypes if it's good.
Yeah, I don't think they can let Stoneforge out along with Batterskull. I think if they let Stoneforge out and ban Batterskull, I think that makes Stoneforge like completely mediocre.
That would actually be awesome.
Yeah, like that makes Stoneforge completely mediocre. But
the problem isn't that Stoneforge is too good in the aggregate. It's just too good against a wide section of decks. That's kind of the issue.
Yeah.
And against those decks, like say you're playing like something like Merfolk or Burn or
That's why you don't like it. You don't want to have to try to swing Merfolk into a Bloodbraid or
I've played it in Legacy. I've played it in Legacy. It's that I'm not have opinion on whether or not it's whatever. I'm just telling you those decks, especially if we're talking in Modern, it's not Jund or whatever that it's not Death Shadow. It's not all these decks with all the removal that can kill Stoneforge that are a problem. It's the decks that it is good against. It completely invalidates and just removes them from the metagame if Stoneforge decks are good.
Yeah.
And it gives something like Jeskai Control, which right now has a hard time with a finisher, because it's got a lot of the best cards, right? It's got counter spells and burn spells and removal spells forever, but it has a really hard time finding a good finisher, which is why you see it bounce around between different things a lot. You just give it Stoneforge, all of a sudden it's better against those decks it was already good against, but now it also has this threat that makes its bad matchups better. And you just play your threat on turn 2 and never tap out again. And you know, how are you supposed to? So you play against this deck that's all removal, and all of a sudden you need to keep in your own removal for their 4/2 drops which are going to kill you at one point or another regardless. Like, it's just that's the world I fear in the Stoneforge world. Also, it has the whole, we talk about banning Batterskull and allowing Stoneforge, and I think that'd be fine. But they've been pretty clear on their philosophy. You ban the tutor, you ban the broken thing, not the payoff for the broken thing. Like, you ban survival, not Vengemind. That's always the adage. And it, Stoneforge being legal impacts all future equipment they can print.
That's true.
Yeah. I mean, it's a shot, and it could also just be a giant tease by Wizards.
Yeah.
Well, at least says they're considering it. I doubt they just said, we're considering it, and they didn't at least do some testing or something. I bet they at least looked into it. So if they don't unban something, I bet they at least try to evaluate whether anything was safe for an unban.
And the thing is, Modern's really good. Modern's really good right now. Like, I understand that we want to unban things or whatever, but at the same time, you do risk either by the deck itself or by a chain reaction of things messing up what right now looks like it will be a really good Pro Tour format in Bilbao.
Yeah. No, it's all
I
depends.
it's not against your pick. This is my argument for why Stunforge shouldn't be unbanned. But, you're right. Like, there are other views on it, and it does die to a lot of removal. And if it hits, it's going to hit big. And even if it doesn't hit, it's probably going to climb anyways.
Yeah.
All right, who wants to go next?
I got a pretty good. I got one that Corbin will love.
Man, are we doing pick of the week? It feels like it's been an hour.
Go ahead, DJ.
All right, so we had our SCG regionals this past weekend, along with everybody else, and I wasn't planning on going at all. I was planning on just staying home, just hanging around. But over the course of the week prior, I had a bunch of people asking me if I was going, and if I planned to go, could I bring them cards to lend, or could I bring some stuff to trade, or just do what? Just a bunch of people asked if I was going to be there, and I was just sure. I guess I'm bringing a bunch of people cards. I guess I'm going to the event. I ended up bringing frickin' Ed from Kirwan. I brought him Fibro boxes because he forgot empty Fibro boxes to bring
Just
their
tell us the card.
Hang on. So
you listen to his story, damn it.
One of the people that came, I didn't plan ahead for this, but they just said hey, I know you. I know you bring a lot. I know you own a lot of cards. Do you happen to have Chameleon Colossus on you to borrow? And I didn't bring them for him, but I had my Modern Ponza deck on me just for the hell of it, and I was like, yeah, you're in luck. I just happen to have these because I main decked them in my Ponza deck. And I assumed he was on Ponza as well, so I was like, here, you can just keep these Colossuses. I barely know you, but just they're $1 or whatever. Just keep them. And he's like, thanks, man. And then I didn't see him for the rest of the day until I saw that he was on camera in the finals of our SCG regionals, and he was not on Red Green Ponza, but he was on Merfolk, Blue Green Merfolk, with Chameleon Colossus.
Yeah.
And
That's a big old Merfolk.
It's a real big Merfolk that happens to ignore pretty much everything that Grixis Death Shadow is doing.
Yeah, that's what that card is for.
And that's why I main deck 3 of them in my Ponza deck, because you just play it on turn 2 and then win the game against Shadow if they just don't have the kill spell for your elf. And
playing
so
turn 2 double green creature and Ponza in turn 2?
Turn 1 elf, turn 2 sprawl.
Yeah,
Utopia
it's easy.
Sprawl.
Yeah, that's my engine.
Turn 1 Arbor Elf, turn 2 Utopia Sprawl on your untapped land, tap it for 2, untap it for 2, 4 mana, play Chandra, or whatever.
Well then.
Yeah, or Acid Moss, or Chameleon Colossus, or Pia and Kieran Nalaar, or whatever, but yeah. So Chameleon Colossus is a card that I feel like the more I look at it, the more it just shouldn't be $1.50.
It's reprintable, I think.
It's been reprinted even.
I agree. I'm not saying that it's hard to reprint, but I think that it's the kind of card that if it happened to see a little bit of camera time at the Modern Pro Tour, I think it very easily goes to $5. I think it's the kind of card that people are experimenting more of with modern sideboards because, again, I didn't think of putting it in a Merfolk deck. I've played at main deck and I've played against Merfolk and I've had my Colossus be a 5/5 Island Walk when they played Lord of Atlantis, and then I've swung through and killed them with it. But I've just never really considered other applications for the card. And so it has 3 printings. It's from the Vault 20, it's Morning Tide, it's Commander 2015. But it was never Modern Mastered. It was never in a huge print run.
Yeah, you're right about a couple things that. That is a lot of printings. But you're also right, it could spike to $5 because, especially at the Pro Tour, I suspect a lot of pros are going to default to Grixis Death Shadow. And the meta is going to be incredibly diverse just because that's how it works. But a lot of the best players will be playing a Death Shadow, probably Grixis Death Shadow, and it does do very well against that deck.
Right, you can't Stubborn Denial it, you can't position it, you can't Kolaghan's Command it, you can't Terminate it, you can't Gurmag Angler it, you can't Toss-a-Gear it, you can't Death Shadow it. It just
Toss-a-Gear.
Toss-a-Gear!
Toss-a-Gear
and the Silver Bullet Band.
I'm so glad we lost. If we were going to lose Marcel pronunciations, we have you.
You're like Marcel and Saffron Olive had a baby, and no one taught it to read.
But yes, all of those things are true. They have to have Lily on it if they even play that anymore, or they have to Thoughtseize it. So Yeah, I agree. That's a pretty solid pick.
So yeah, this card is like $1.50 right now, maybe $2, and I think you buy a set, and I think there's a pretty good chance that you'll be rewarded during the Modern Pro Tour.
Yeah. All right, I'll jump in here. I've got a Commander 2015 pick, and it's a card that was really hyped at the beginning and fell off and sat at the bottom for a while, but it's starting to climb and probably gonna. I mean, that's a good sign, right? We're at the. I mean, I'm not going to call it a V. It's more like it's just a really long flat line, but it is starting to trend up, and it's Blade of Selves. So
You
when
didn't
it came
even let
out,
me guess. I was gonna try to guess.
oh my bad. When it came out, it spiked to 15 because it was this is so great, blah blah blah, and it kind of got forgotten about. And honestly, I don't even see it that often. But it's enchanted equipped creature has Myriad. Whenever it attacks somebody, make copies that attack everything else. So it's just gross with ETBs and so on. But yeah, it bottomed out at $5 and sat there for a while. And it's back up over $6 now. So this is on its way back up. Will they redo Myriad? Probably not incredibly soon. Yeah.
No, this is not getting reprinted. I would wager money that this is never reprinted.
It could pretty easily be in a conspiracy set or something.
I'm betting money that it's not.
If it is in a conspiracy set, it'll be like 3 or 4 years from now.
Yeah, are they ever going to do more conspiracy sets, considering the last one sold like it was made out of AIDS?
We don't know that. We don't know. We don't know their sales numbers. It's probably better not to speculate on that.
Okay.
I did play the card in Gonti.
We don't know that they didn't just print more, right? Like, we have a lot of anecdotal evidence about how well we think it's sold, but we don't know that it didn't sell well.
I know the boxes aren't selling for dealer cost on eBay. I know that. So.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing an unset. They have to go back. They print products for that crowd every year. I would not be surprised to see them go back to the conspiracy well at some point. But either way, yes, Blade of Selves, hard to reprint and climbing again. So keep an eye on those.
That's a pretty good pick.
Yeah, thanks.
Mine's real ballsy.
Okay.
Mine's predicated on being part of a 2-card combo, and the other part has not been printed yet necessarily.
I love this.
Okay.
But could be.
I mean, these do pay off really well when they pay off.
And this is a $1 foil, practically bulk rare, Scrap Trawler. When it or another artifact is put into the graveyard, return to your hand target artifact card in your graveyard with less converted mana cost.
Is there
it's a dumb,
2-card combo that?
It's not a 2-card combo,
with that card?
Well, I don't know about a 2-card combo, but it is an extremely key part of the Eggs deck in Modern. It's probably the best iteration of the Eggs deck we've ever had. Uses Scrap Trawler.
Yeah, so it's like it's played a little bit now, and I think
it's 50 cents, real bulky.
Yeah, these are a buck foil.
It was also a promo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah. Foils have to be the only way to go on this.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
I think this card's real good, and I think it's suspiciously good, and I think it's we're doing stuff with it currently, but I think it's one of those. Morrow always uses the word suspicious tech. Anything that's like they print it and they leave the design space open a little bit. So either on purpose or accidentally, they could print something that interacts with this a little bit better than this already does. But I mean, also, like it's just pretty good in like Brea decks and stuff like that. It's really good with KCI. Like you're sacking stuff and getting stuff back, and you're just doing artifact-based things in EDH, so I think it's really good there. I think this is just at $1 for a foil and like bulk for a rare, practically bulk for a rare. I think this is real low risk, and I think you just fill a box with these. You can probably sell them for what you can probably get out for what you got in for or close to it in 2 years if this does nothing. But I'm kind of anticipating as good as this is potential-wise. I think it's going to really do something. So it's a ballsy pick, and if you're just reading the spreadsheet, you're going to lose some nuance of this pick. But I really like both foil and non-foil Scrap Trawler. You guys seem to like the foil, so that's my pick. Look, I didn't have to tell a stupid story about going to the store to buy kumquats.
I actually thought that story was going to end with DJ going, yeah, and it was Steve. And then I totally forgot until he was on my podcast.
His podcast? He's a guest.
That's how I switched terms there. My podcast.
Can we just...
Anyways.
Can we be done?
All right. So Steve, man, anything else you want to touch on? You want to talk about? You want to make fun of somebody here? You've been sitting in the background, man. We're ready. Unleash whatever you've got.
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right. Be nice. That's fine too.
That was really anticlimactic. I thought you had something. I thought you were going to unload on DJs like, oh, you will remember me. He's going to wake up. You're going to be carving your initials into his chest. Now you remember.
Anyway, so Steve, man, thank you very much for coming on. We appreciate it. I liked your breaking bulk earlier. I liked the pick of the week is I like we had a good discussion there, and I know that listeners are going to come down on all sides of it. So, anything else you want to say before we get out of here, or where can people find you at?
You can find me on Twitter at Verboten Water 4, and that's pretty much it.
Verboten Water?
Yeah.
Is that a reference I should know?
Forbidden water.
Yeah. No, it's just...
Were Verboten Water 1, 2, and 3 taken?
No. Okay. Actually, funny story about it. I took German for like 7 years between middle school and high school, and then I got my Xbox. I got an Xbox, and I was setting up my Xbox Live account, and I did the random name selector, and that was one of the options.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I like this. So.
He's following DJ and Corbin on Twitter, but not me.
Yes, that's perfect. You probably blocked him.
No, I didn't block him. He's just not following me. That's awkward. Man, I bet you didn't think I'd look that shit up while you're still on the podcast.
Best decision you've ever made.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, follow Saffron Olive and not me. That's cool. Fucking idiot.
This makes me even happier now. This is great. Man, that's perfect.
What, you didn't think this? You didn't think this was going to happen? Oh, this is happening. Look at all your other questionable follow decisions. Man, oh man.
Well, Steve, thank you again for coming on, man. It was a lot of fun. We appreciate it. And everyone else, thank you for listening. This is Brainstorm Brewery, and we will see you next week.
I didn't expect you to agree with me. Corbin never agrees with me when I tell him he's a piece of shit. He's like, I think I'm not.
You don't know my local group. DJ knows.
Wait, do I?
Yeah. We've met in person before, multiple times.
Oh, you're such an asshole, DJ. Jesus Christ, dude.
Holy shit.
You were very subtly cyberbullying our guest.
My God, you're a dick.
Oh, well, we might have met, but you're not on a podcast, so I don't know who the fuck you are.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
You're such a dick, dude. He looked up to you, and now he knows what a piece of shit you are.
Yeah, he knows you're actually just a dick.
I said that, and I misplayed in my Momir Basic game.
God, no one cares about Momir fucking Basic.
For once, we're not waiting for Corbin.
Nice meme. Oh God, he's tapping so much mana.
Why did you start a game?
No.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. You started a game.
Not even like 10 minutes ago, you're like, oh, they gave me Blue White Delver.
I don't think what happened is what you guys think is what happened.